I think one of the interesting things that was just recently published by Anthony Motto, but now it's a larger group and a little more in-depth analysis, is the sequencing of drugs. We have 3 novel small agents: venetoclax, ibrutinib, idelalisib. Ibrutinib is the only one that has a frontline approval, but they all have a relapse approval, albeit right now the venetoclax label is just 17p, but I think it is being used more widely in the relapse refractory population. So that begs the question, what might be the best way to sequence these drugs? And that's a question that's probably not going to be readily answered in clinical trials, because they're different drugs from different companies, they have somewhat different indications, and is it really better in a relapsed patient to use ibrutinib before idelalisib, or idelalisib and then shift potentially to ibrutinib or to venetoclax? And so what Anthony Motto has done is gathered together 10 centers, and they've started to put their data together. So it's not clinical trial data, but arguably the attractive part of that is it could be a little bit more real world data. Put their data together for the patients that they've treated with these multiple different agents, looking at, if you use that drug first, how did that impact? How long was the remission? How long was the progression-free survival? What happened to the patients when they crossed over to the second drug? What if they crossed over for resistance versus intolerance? And they're starting to look at that data, and with all the limitations of the fact that it's a retrospective collection of data and it's not clinical trial data, and yet perhaps again more real world, I think those are going to be very important publications. They now have over 600 patients, and arguably are probably adding more, because we're not going to get that kind of data from clinical trials. We're going to get it from what happens to what's going on out there and what are the results. So I think that large database that they're building is going to be very important for answering quite a number of questions.